Alright, let's do this. Oh, it's over? Well, at least that's over. Okay, this is it. Here they come. Cool. Whew, it's over. Oh, it's over.
That's ominous.
Here they come. Oh, hell.
The custodian has sealed our doom. Its ineffable calculus has concluded Nerud will be impervious to whatever powers Alepsis Tora might bring to bear. Those who wish to see their creator face to metaphysical fate have taken this as a blessing and acted accordingly. Nerud's course has been set. Our doom is now inevitable. I cannot foresee what will occur. I only know it will not end well for the Brazier. The custodian's calculations may be rational enough, but they are incongruent with the foresight of the astropaths, those for whom the Ember has granted sight. Alas, our insight is not enough to sway our people. It is irrelevant now. I have been overruled, and there is nothing more we can do. And perhaps I am wrong. Perhaps, although my very bones say otherwise, our Creator awaits us within the black hole. I truly hope so, but I do not believe it. I work now to establish contingencies. I have protected my chambers against a variety of forces. I will lock myself within, along with any who would join me. With luck, perhaps we might weather whatever may come. We will have a limited amount of sustenance. Unless we want to subsist on the Abbot Ember itself, of course. But I suspect we need not hide for long. We should know immediately whether Alepsis Tora will suffer us to live.
killed that thing. Would Clementine have come this way? Yeah. Pretty sure that thing would be dead if she did.
Thank the Founder. You're alive. What happened? I knew the Founder was up to something. I mean, who else wants to visit the old ward, huh? Look, I'm sorry you got involved in this, Traveler. So, then what happened? Wait, what? Clementine? Where is she? Is she okay? Right, sorry. Clementine, she means a lot. To all of us. We gotta find her. I'll get everybody together. If she went through the World Stone, she could be anywhere. Hey, I get that, but she could be anywhere. Do you understand? It's a World Stone. It takes you to other worlds. All right, I'll get Brabus and Riggs. I'll tell them to... Oh, what the hell am I doing? I don't know what's out there any more than you do. I'd be putting the whole town at risk. Clem wouldn't want that. Hell, it's a miracle you came back. No, we gotta trust you on this, like you said. Is that all right? Thanks, Traveler. Talk to the folks around town. They should have any supplies you need. You know, Ford used to tell me, old Commander Ford, not the Founder, that a leader and a hero... I thought she was just taking a dig at her grandfather for leaving all the time, but... yeah, she's doing great. Can't keep her down, really. As soon as she heard you disappeared with the Founder, she was on her feet. Nothing the doc said would stop her. I don't know what she was doing all that time. Looking for you, maybe, or... Anyway, all that anxiety of hers turned out to be pretty helpful. You should go see her. She don't show it, but she's worried sick about you. Yeah, so... After you and the Founder went missing, Riggs... I had a hunch what happened. Not my first experience with this thing, you know? I wanted it out here this time, so we could help anyone who came through. Turns out that was the right choice. Who knows how long it would have taken you to get out of that old ward. Right. So, long time ago, when the Root were still everywhere, I helped the Wanderer get to the oldest ward somewhere out past the... tell the truth, I don't even know where it is. Now that's the thing about the World Stone. They don't give you any idea where you are or how you got there. I don't know how the Wanderer got used to it. Yeah, that's what they call him. Yeah, I didn't come up with it. Yeah, the Wanderer did all the real stuff. Entered the ward, fought the Root, found Clementine. Anyway, yeah, I know better than most. Anything can come out of one of these things. I mean, I knew she was gone. I just didn't know she was that gone. Clem takes off from time to time, you know? It's just her way. She'll disappear for hours, sometimes days at a time. Well, I never liked it, but she can take care of herself, yeah? And it's not like I could stop her anyway. And she always came back, saying she just needed to be alone for a while, and I can respect that. I just wish she'd talk to someone, you know? Yeah, well, the Founder's his own thing, ain't he? It's not the first time he's disappeared on us. Not even the 5th time. Commander Ford, the Founder's granddaughter, used to say relying on the Founder was like running across rubble. Now, you could do it for a while, but sooner or later... Now, I don't know if I'd go that far, but Founder Ford, he was always more of like... well, more of an idea to us than a leader. Hell, when I was a kid, everyone thought he'd been dead for years. But that's the thing about the Founder. He never stays gone. A week, a year, a decade. Somehow, he always finds his way back here. Hey, let me know as soon as you find Clem, okay?
Yay, you're back. All right, let's have a look. Move along, traveler. I'm a busy woman. Yay, you're back. Let me save you some time so you don't keep nattering on. Then a stranger came. We called them the Wanderer. You might have noticed everyone gets a handle here. Anyway, they show up and stop the route. Now, we live in these buildings here. That clear. Will wonders never see... No, I used to be a real asshole. Now I'm a beacon of kindness. Hard. Root everywhere. We did our best. Took in strays and tried to make a life of it. But it was no life worth living. Good people died. Few of us were brave or desperate enough to leave the bunker. The Wanderer, Ace. Ask Bo about the one time he went out. He came running back like a spooked cat. The Wanderer. They were a very rare pain in my ass. I never told them that. Wish I would've. They were here and then gone. Just blew in, stopped a global infestation, and then poof, they left. I should have thanked them when I had a chance. Just an old friend. Founder Ford got a bug up his ass about something happening back at war. Bo was supposed to take the Wanderer back there, but he chickened out and ran home the first chance he got. The chronicles of our fearless leader. Okay, that's all you get. Bye now.
I'll bet Riggs could help me out. I should stop by sometime.
You look like you need some shooting, bro. Don't got a lot of answers, but I guess I set myself up for that one. I told you the mud dogs didn't take hell from no one. And what anyone stood up to us without getting knocked
Maybe
down.
just need to go see
Save
Riggs.
one. This
He can
mudder
probably help my
walks into my court, confident as a wolf in a rabbit trap. I'm thinking, this'll be a fight to remember, eh? At best. Then, I noticed something the mudder's got on him. It's a watch. What belonged to my old man. I figure he finally tripped the branches and I'm about to wring this wanderer's neck myself. But then, the wanderer says the old man gave it to him. That caught me. The old man wouldn't give up that watch to no one but family.
A decent trap out of
He
that.
never gave it to me. I let the wanderer go. After taking the watch, of course. But I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I hear. Changed the world a few times over, that one. Sometime later, I got the nerve to see the old man myself. He surprised me. Wasn't pissed or petulant. Started telling stories like
stop
we'd been
by
chatting
sometime.
every day. He didn't say nothing about the watch when I told him. Just glad it had a home. Tell you what, I think he wanted me to take it, the old bastard. Anyway, we talked a lot after that, and when word got out
Travis
that
gotta
folks
polish
here
his
at the
stuff
ward
more.
were starting something
Some
new,
string
well,
bells.
the old man and I both knew what needed doing. I told the mud dogs they were free to do as they liked. We weren't a pack no more, and the old man and I set up shop here. Kinda boring to tell you the truth, but better than a bullet hole, I guess. Well, the mud dogs ran for years. Started out with my old man in a place called Sanctuary, and eventually came out here. We set ourselves up in a place folks started calling Cutthroat Channel. Nobody came in or out without our say-so, not even Deadwood. Yeah, I got a story or two from the glory days. I ain't my old man. He'll talk your ear off and then use it as a chew toy. But if that's so, well, it was a bad winter. Real bad. Even the Deadwood wouldn't go out in it. But they didn't need to. Goddamn Earth was killing us all on its own. There was nothing to eat, and I mean nothing. Mud dogs would raid and steal, but there weren't no one. We'd threaten people's lives, and they'd laugh like it was a gift. Word surprising then when the dogs turned on each other. He accused me of hoarding, so I punched him. Soon the whole gang was fighting. It was chaos. Bleeding and shouting and cussing. Finally, I cracked beers on the skull, and he don't get up. Quiet, I shout. And when I got their attention, I say, plenty to eat now. It's over 100 pounds of meat on your average human stranger. When it like that, I'd be stupid to pass it up. What? You think dog eat dog was some kind of metaphor? First, let me ask you something. Your family's starving. Has been for days, and there's no food nowhere, except for a bunker, where a bunch of survivors are holed up. What do? There ain't nothing you got what they want. Fact is, they'd love any excuse to kill you, just to make them feel a little safer. Like it or not, fight or flight are your only real options. You're thinking like a mud dog. Problem was, there was 4 of them for every one of us. All of them packing. I said to my dogs, what's the one thing this world's got no end of? More than guns or food or mudders what got more than enough of both? Deadwood, I said. See, The root don't care about food or guns. All you gotta do is break a bunker open. The root'll clean out the nest and leave you the rest. That's the world it was, stranger. Dog eat dog. Because, traveler, I'm reformed. There's one of my old man's tales that is true. He used to live in this old chopper. Made a good sniper's nest, letting him pop off deadwood one at a time. I kept him out for a while, but the mud dogs got wind they were mustering something big. I weren't about to let the old man kick it, so we set a trap out for their trap. Problem was, they moved faster than we thought. We had explosives set around for most of the area, but the deadwood came too soon. We hadn't set the detonators yet. The old man, though, he wakes in the crack of night, howling, popping off shot after shot at the root. Well, one of his shots must have hit our explosives, because suddenly the whole street goes up in flames. My dogs got lucky. Only a couple were close enough to get singed. But the root got blown all to hell. To this day, my old man thinks he killed 300 of them, all by himself. So here's the thing. Every shot my old man took, and he must have killed dozens of deadwood before it was over, was dead on. The only shot he missed was the one that blew the trap. So you tell me, who really killed all those root? Oh, that old mutter. People call him Mudtooth. He said you wouldn't know it to look at him, but he was the leader of the Mud Dogs before. Of course, that ain't the way he tells it. We still don't know what else I can tell you, save the way they tell it. That wanderer walked through crystals to other worlds. Yeah, they all sound just like my old man with these stories. Who says they have? Deadwood is still here, ain't they? Maybe the bulk of them have just... I ain't complaining, mind you. There's definitely something different about this place. But so, back in the day, whenever a group of folks came traipsing into the mud, they told them we was weeding out the weak. That particular tradition started the day Chavis and his gang rolled in and said they wanted to join forces. Not on my word, no. There was only 3 of them, all torn up. The rest of Chavis's gang had been chewed up by Deadwood, he said. I was just about to let him join when Chavis's deputy, a woman with the unlikely name Sunny, turns on the other 2 and starts slicing them up. Well, me and the boys start taking bets. It was the most fun we'd had in months. After the other 2 fell, Sonny says Chavis was planning on killing me in my sleep, taking the gang. Ever since, folks come looking to join up. We had them fight each other first. Yeah, it weeds out the weak, yeah. But also make sure nobody's stupid enough to try a coup. You ever hear of the Root Mother? Ah, she's one of them weirdos even the Deadwood left alone. Folks used to see her for advice. Crazy folks, desperate. My mud dog's caught one of these crazies. As he begs for his life, he tells us some secret the Root Mother told him. A place in the sewer, good to hole up against Deadwood. Dumb bastard. We killed him anyway, of course. He had food. But one of my boys convinced me to check out his story. That's how we found Cutthroat Channel. Once the Deadwood were cleared out, it wasn't so hard to keep it clear. Stayed there for years. So the dumb bastard was right. Huh, you sound like the loonies here in town. Root crazies don't know me from a jar of dirt. We just made our own luck, was all. Yeah, true as truth, anyway. And a hell of a lot truer than anything my old man will tell you. Good. Got time. Now we're talking.
Just gotta polish his stuff more. We can't shoot straight with this. I'll bet Riggs could help me out. I should stop by sometime. Those guns at Brabus.
All right then,
better for
Wanderer.
killing 'em.
Watch yourself, stranger. Well then, clean yet.
God damn, it is you! The rumors had me thinking I might not ever see you again. Oh, yeah? Oh, sweet as rhubarb pie, ain't you? So where have you been? They said you ran off with that old Ford fella. You mean that big-ass floating gym over there? Bo said it can take you other places, other worlds even. Before we got here, I'd have laughed in his face. But I've heard weirder stories than that. And I can see on your face, it ain't all make-believe, is it? Feels like anything can be true here. They even healed my root rot. I tell you what, yeah, I don't know what's in that stuff Doc Nora gave me, but I ain't felt this good for... Hell, maybe it was Fulton's blend. Ah, you know me. I get anxious sitting still for too long. So, I went out to the room. I was just doing what I do to survive, but... Then... So hey, if you ever need anything... Don't be a stranger, okay? Hey, I don't suppose you've seen Clementine out there. The talk about her's all skittish. I think Bo's gonna birth kittens and puppies. That's too bad. Well, you never gave up on me. I don't expect you'll give up on her either. Keep trying, hey? What you wanna ask me? You know me. I don't settle so much as stop moving on for a while. Though, I like any place with a warm bed and decent food, but... Now that I think about it, there's something different about this place. I mean, besides weird shit like floating crystals and... The people here are... They're... I don't know if you've met them all yet, but... And I can tell you who does what if you want. I've been around here long enough for that, at least. Have you met Dwell yet? Not a human one. He calls himself a Pan from some place called Yesha. I tell you what, I don't understand. But the crystals he sells are like nothing I've ever seen. Might be just what you're looking for. Need something? Your debt's still at 2 now. Remember that.
I came from another town. Smaller than this one. Hey, you're the newcomer, ain't you? You know you're lucky they found you when they did. Pretty much. Any part of your flesh prison, there ain't much I haven't seen before. Yeah, that's how my grandpa used to talk. He loved that I ain't much science for it. He'd say, go on then. What are you trying to say, sunshine? Well, listen, newcomer. You know a better doctor, you go see her. Until then, I'll take care of... You know how a doctor gets good at her craft? That's it. Same way you get good at anything. You learn a thing by doing it over and over again. For me, that means people who need my help. The more people there are suffering, the better I get at healing them. My grandfather, he'd been treating folk his whole life. I started assisting Grandpa when I was 5. Dressing wounds, making meds, putting at the table, you name it. He was. He helped more people in his long life than you and I have ever even met. But how I helped him most was digging through the old hospitals. Even after a century, there's a hell of a lot to find. All of it useful to someone as clever as Grandpa. Tons. The old humans knew a lot about the human body, it turns out. Stuff even Grandpa didn't know. Did you know they used to be able to replace a man's lungs with someone else's? Or put a dead man's liver in someone whose liver didn't work in? To think of all the folks Grandpa and I could have saved if we had that kind of know-how. There's plenty if you know what to look for. Most of the basic meds are long gone. But there's still stuff no one knows what to do, what they don't got. What I never found once. That's why so many folks died when the group first showed up. Grandpa had to invent a treatment on his own. A treatment, not a cure. He probably wasn't the only one, I'm sure. But after Grandpa figured it out, he traveled as far... I don't know where he started. But I reckon every treatment... You can thank him that your friend is still alive. Came here maybe 10 years... It turned out good. He even attended anything. Sure thing. See you around, traveler.
That Donald. Always talking about getting out of here, sailing the sea. Hey, never catch me off.
Well, hey, get away from my stew! Oh, it's you. What? No, of course not. Never seen you before in my life. I just figure... So, what can old Mud... Oh, careful now. My answer... Quite a bit, stranger. The name's Mudtooth. And ain't nobody been around... Except maybe old Ford, of course. But that old mudder cheats. Anyway, he hardly tells any of his stories. Only 3 reasons why folks come to see me. And that's my stories or my stew. Yeah. That's so? Huh. Did I tell you about the stories yet? That one too, eh? Well, that's it, ain't it? My stories and my stew. Listen, you sure I said there were 3 reasons? 'Cause there's only 2, and that's certain. Huh. Only 2 reasons folks come to see old Mudtooth, and you know both of them. I'm pretty sure your memory's slipping. Town, you call it. Back in my day, a place like this wouldn't be... Nah, this ain't no town. I lived by myself for years, see? Had myself a... what you calls it? A hockapatopter. That thing could fly. Anywho, I was living by myself when my boy Brabus showed up saying we should move on. Told me it wasn't safe for me to be living like I've been living no more. He told me about this place. Got some nice people. Well, Brabus, he's my son. 'Twere his idea to come join this little shanty town. Not a bad idea it was, neither. He's over yonder, at the shooting range, if you're looking to find him. You bet your apple I can, but these ain't just stories, stranger. They're objective retellings of legitimate occurrences. What I've been telling tales about the Ford family for years. I tell you, like old Commander Ford, one who used to run this here ward, she was the youngest of the family. She's the one what brought... They say she's dead and buried, but they don't know the truth of it. See, the old commander were the youngest, but she ain't the last. Old Ford, her grandpa, is still kicking here in town. Crazy old man went and fought the Deadwood head-on and lived. Her grandmother was half Root herself. Folks used to call her the Root Mother. And oh, she was the thing about the Fords is they can't die. Not a single damn one of them. I mean, look, they all thought old Ford had died long ago. I don't care what anyone says. I swear to you on my unborn brother's life, the other Fords are still out there. So you won't believe this one, but you should. I ever tell you about the Shrouded King? No, it ain't a book. It's real, I tell you. Real as every damn story I know. He's the king of another world, see? And his world was overrun by the Root, just like ours. Or at least it was going to be. The Shrouded King, he got his people together to draw as much power as he could from his own ding-dang-dingity son. Used it to make himself a weapon. Soon as the Root showed up, he fired the damn thing. Now the king, he knew what was about to happen, but he didn't tell nobody. That weapon weren't just gonna scorch the Root. No, it scorched the whole dim darn dingity world. Burned the Deadwood the hell out of there. Killed half his kingdom and twisted the other half into something unrecognizable. And that's why he wears a shroud, see? Because he done twisted himself in the process. But he don't want no one to see the mangledy bits of his face parts. Oh, here's a good one. I ever tell you about the time I lived up in this old, one night, I'm telling you, that weren't no horse. But one night, but they don't stop coming. And I'm thinking, this is finally it. But so, I squint my good eye and pray to Kennedy, Jeebus, and Cash. And I squeeze the trigger, and my bullet flies through the air like a hawk to a coney. Caw-caw! It scrapes the pipe, and boom! Whole damn horde go... Let me see. Let me tell you what those folks were up to in that atoll. That was where they did their experimenting, see? They made weapons, and the Root, you see. Yes, sir. They found Route D and A trapped in red amber, and they done built themselves an army. But this army, it got out of hand and turned against them. Couldn't tell the difference between the Usaneans and pretty good weapon if you ask me. Nigh on slaughter the whole... Makes you think, though. What else? You'll like this one. I ever tell you the secret, but I will tell you how it came to be. My mom made a fine stew, but it weren't nothing to tell tales about. Nothing. We was trapped in one of them so we scrounged for ingredients. Well, them hospitalities ain't no good for food, but they do have some pretty mean spices lying around if you know what you're doing, which I do. That night was the best stew any of us ever had in our lives. Kept us going for days until finally the day. And that, friend, is the same stew I make today. I even use the same ingredients as them back in the day. This is 100%. You've been introduced to that girl Clementine? Ah, she's near as old as Ford is, if you can believe it. Clementine, see, she was born on Earth, but she's been Hey, watch it. So, you see, she was born... Clementine spent 100 years on a snow world called Resome. They call it that on account of some you read and some you don't. Anyway, see, Resome's full of giant talking rats. They got warrior rats and midwife rats and even mystic rats. Clementine, she learned under the tutelage of a two-headed mystic named Sebum. Taught her everything she knows. She don't talk about it, of course, on account of Sebum's a wanted man. Rat, I guess. But it's God's own truth. I met the man. This one's, there's an old man what lives at the center of a maze. It don't matter. This old, that ain't all. The maze, see, is like a spider web full of doors. And he don't just watch. He makes. I can see on your face you ain't buying it. And if in this maze watcher decides, don't think I told Crazy 8 traveled a lot after leaving Sanctuary. Came to this one town named a Ghostwell. No, Oakhold. Anyway, this Croakswell town didn't take time. We stayed anyway, of course. Brought 'em good scrounge, we did. Nobody scavenged like the Crazy 8. And her old man, though, he didn't like us one bit, especially me. I opened the door, and the girl's old man clocks me with the butt of his shotgun. Knocked out one of my teeth, he did. Then he points the gun in my face and starts shouting, "Which one of you assly hoes got her in the family way?" he says. "I know it was one of you." Well, I ain't gonna argue with a man behind a gun. So I looks around, sees my tooth in the mud, and says, "Mudtooth, he's the one you're after." And off he ran after someone who don't exist. Or didn't exist, I guess. We ditched Ghost Crack that day, but the name came with me. And that's the story of how Brabus was born. Except he weren't born yet, was he? Not born, then. The other thing. Conceptualized. Ho, 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 ho! You want to know the truth about young? To start off with, the boy ain't all that young. I mean, sure, he ain't nothing to old Mud. Why is that? Bo Ward, he made a deal with the Wanderer. Don't believe me? It was Bo who met the Wanderer at Old Ward 10 and 3. And it was Bo who took him over to that Ward Goose Egg, the one where the root started. And he won't admit it, but it was Bo what rescued Clementine and shut the door on the dead wood for good. The boy's more than he tells, and a good deal more than he knows. Why else would folks around here put... Sure can. You ever wonder what the world was like afore the dead? The world. Now, these folks weren't like, not their world. And the world was a prison. It was a... Oh, I reckon. You are the best audience I've had in a long while, I'll tell you what. But my tale-telling tongue... You came to the... Fair? I can tell you... Be sure to come back
So
for
many
some
new
stew.
faces these days. Welcome, traveler. Heard the old founder can't say the... Taken? Well, I hope... Or did you mean that... Oh, now that sounds like the start of a damn good story. What brought you out here? Huh. I like this town as... How about your friend? How'd you meet her? You're a damn lucky friend. Hell, if it... Speaking of your friend, I heard she came in with a nasty case of root rot. What happened to you two out there? Son of a gun. I got suspicion. Well, don't you... What about you? What do you hope to find out here? Well, that's the spirit of the town, ain't it? So, now I've got a measure of it. Well, oldest team. When the world did, I don't know how many wards there were. Ford and Clementine are the only ones what really did. But old Reggie's got a gift for collecting stories. At the wards, see, they connected people to machines, but these worlds were real. Sounds like a bridge too far, don't it? It did for me, too. There are rumors. Some say he was experimented on in the Dreamer Project. Truth is, nobody knows. Maybe not even Ford himself. Personal story's pretty long, friend. After the world fell, see, Founder Ford carried the whole burden of what happened. Tell the truth, I don't think he ever put that burden down. But let's see, where were we? Ah, yes. At first, nothing. He pressed on with the work of help. Maybe he wouldn't have if Evelyn hadn't. See, Evelyn was his wife, and she was something. At first, she thought she was going insane. She saw a monster, something the ward, the whole city couldn't handle. Melded her mind to theirs and drove the monster off. But the root, her husband lost it then. He left the ward for months, sometimes years at a time. And one day, he just didn't come back. Well, now my story's not through yet. Too young to run the war. Nadine had her own daughter, Ellen, who really made us who we are. Commander Ellen Ford inherited her mother's pragmatism, her grandfather's doggedness, and her grandmother's willingness to... So whenever someone showed up, dehydrated, starving, half mad from loss... So you were paying attention. I owe a lot to Ellen Ford, and we all do. And I miss her some... She was one of the dreamers. She says she got sucked out somehow. Dragged into her dream world before the... I reckon she don't know how she survived. But I imagine it has to do... Sure is. But... She was a force, that woman. Founder Ford came back once. Did I mention that? Well, Ellen couldn't have been more than 18 at the time. But she told... I reckon Founder Ford saw the wisdom of that. When he finally did, he wasn't needing us no more. Well, she fell sick some time ago. Most of us have lost... Why, she even made things right with her grandfather before the end, or so I hear. No one was more surprised. Ain't no one loves a ward. Oh, about 20-odd years ago, then this stranger wandered. I still don't... Once it seemed safe to live outside, the Wanderer was on a mission from the start. Said something about getting to the tower on the old atoll out. Sounded crazy the first time I heard it. But turns out, that tower was one of the old wards. Our Wanderer had to track down Founder Ford just to find a way in. And that meant following his trail. Just you wait, I'm getting to that. Well, Ford, it seemed, had gotten himself mixed up in another world's affairs, helping a rebellion. Now, no one here knew that, but the Root Mother knew. And that's who the Root Mother's got a story all her own, and I don't know half of it. Before she was the Root Mother, she was Evelyn. Bound herself to the Root, she did, and it changed her. Turned her into something else. The Root Mother, or whatever she called herself after that, said our the Wanderer freed him, and used his knowledge to get into the or what we thought was the last dreamer anyway. So, the dreamer was dead. The storm subsided. Then Founder Ford tells us about the oldest war. He hoped there might be some clue there as to why. They found more than even old Ford bargained for. You ain't wrong. Place was full of... One of these doors led to the world of Reesum, where the Wanderer found them and time to open the door with no... All I know is, the Root stopped coming when the Wanderer and just making sense of things. Stories make us who we are. If we don't... I could tell... Only the... Now, if you need supplies, old Reggie's you got.
How goes it, friend? You know where to find me.